Governor Lamont was in New Britain today making another pitch for his $300 million preschool plan.
News 8 political reporter Mike Cerulli joins us live with more on this. Mike.
Good evening to you, Dennis and Ann. The core of the governor's plan, he says, is free preschool for every Connecticut family that earns less than $100,000 per year. He's been out on the road selling this proposal, and even as he makes that full court press, he's being met with some critiques from legislators on both sides of the aisle.
This is an emergency.
Sounding the alarm in the hardware city, the governor joined childcare advocates to illustrate the challenges facing Connecticut. Limited space in classrooms, low pay for the teachers leading those classrooms, and skyrocketing costs for families.
Families are forced to make impossible choices, balancing work, financial need, and their children's education.
The governor's solution is a new fund, seeded with $300 million drawn from the state's pile of surplus cash. The fund would pay out tens of millions of dollars annually to help families afford preschool and to ramp up the capacity of the state's child care system.
We've got to make sure we take the lead here, in the state of Connecticut.
But Lamont's approach has been critiqued by leaders on his political right and left. Republicans say the governor's proposed fund circumvents the state's system of budget controls by placing hundreds of millions of dollars outside the budget.
He's using preschool students as a guise to create a slush fund.
Harding said Republicans do support more preschool funding, but he wants the spending subjected to the state's budget controls, which are intended to help pay down debt and to stop runaway spending.
Let's prioritize that in budget within the confines of the budget and not use slush funds. That's all we're saying.
On the other side, some Democrats and labor groups say those state budget controls, often called fiscal guardrails, are too stringent. Before his event on Wednesday, the governor was greeted by a small crowd of state university professors and students asking him to spend more on higher education. They're one of dozens of groups calling for more spending. Many lawmakers in Lamont's own party say he should loosen the fiscal guardrails in order to do so.
We do have to create more flexibility in these fiscal guardrails to make sure that we're responding to how people are struggling.
And look, all of these funding fights are going to come to a head in the next few months. Legislators are now through the portion of the session where they've heard public testimony. They're about done with the public testimony on bills. They're now going to enter in a series of negotiations with each other and with the governor to decide what gets passed and how much gets spent. Live at the state capitol tonight, Mike Cerulli, News 8.